All right, so we're talking about building a Facebook ad campaign and how to design the campaign in such a way that it has what I call the front end and the back end of the campaign. So just for the purposes of those listening to this recording right now, I want to make sure that we're all on the same page with how we're going to build this campaign. So when I say the front end of the campaign, what am I talking about specifically?
The first message, yeah. The attention and interest,
Right.
desire.
It's the actual ad that they see, right? Whatever it is, whether it's a billboard, whether it's a door hanger, whether it's a window wrap on a car or a Facebook ad, you have the front end of the campaign, which is the ad itself, what the customer sees going into your campaign, right? What's forward-facing, customer-facing. When you're building a customer-facing ad, you want to use the AIDA principles in your ad. The AIDA principles we talked about were what? What is AIDA?
Attention, interest, desire, and action.
Attention, interest, desire, and action, right? Mm-hmm. Now, I'm going to go over for a minute with you because before we build the ad, I want to make sure that you guys do understand the principles behind building ads, because I don't want to just give you an ad campaign that you like but not understand how to duplicate it, right? It's important that you can duplicate whatever we build. So whether we're talking about a Facebook ad, we're talking about a billboard, we're talking about a flyer, we're talking about a door hanger, anything like that, the forward-facing or customer-facing front end of the ad is what the customer sees. And what you want to make sure is on that the first thing that they see in some way grabs their attention. And we talked about ways to grab people's attention could vary depending on the audience that you're approaching and what you're trying to hook them with as far as your attention grabber. You can use something that they would immediately relate to. So if you choose language for a specific audience that they would connect with immediately. As an example, one of the salespeople earlier today who was wanting to target older homes or older people homes, what are they, senior, is that what we're calling them? Senior living communities or whatever he said, right? Senior living communities. So he said he wanted to target senior living communities because he's older himself. He wanted to target those. I said, well, if you're going to target those, then when they open up your mailer that you're going to send them, the very first thing they need to read is something that grabs their attention, and an easy way to do that would be to relate directly to them. So in his case, my opening sentence I gave him was, around here they call me the old man, even though I don't feel old. That opening sentence, if you're sending it to a senior, community, the person who reads that will immediately resonate with that message. Does that make sense? You've got their attention, so to speak. If you're making a campaign to military personnel, then you're on your campaign, the front end of the campaign has to say something about the military so that they resonate. If you're attracting first-time buyers, the language will say that. If you're attracting single mothers, if you're attracting people who are ex-cons, it doesn't matter who you're attracting, you have to get their attention. And one way to do that is to use something that is directly related to them that they would resonate with because of their personal connection to your message. Another way to grab people's attention is to use negativity. People respond to negativity. In fact, in society, bad news travels further and faster than good news. We understand this, right? So a negative hook is when you say something that evokes fear or something that evokes, a person's perception that something bad happened. People like bad news. We're wired that way, right? So when you say something like, this is a mistake so-and-so made. See how this mistake cost whatever. Don't make this mistake, or this could happen to you. Don't fall for this. Those types of hooks are negative hooks because they're emphasizing a negative aspect of something. They're in some ways they're bringing about fear. Does that make sense? So that would be another type of attention grabber. Another great attention grabber is obviously a big, bold claim. When you make a big, bold claim that you're able to fix a problem, that you're able to solve something for someone, that you're able to accomplish something that sounds amazing, then you have a big, bold claim type of attention grabber. So that would be another example.
Can I interrupt?
Please.
All right. So as you're talking, I'm getting ideas in my head. So for a Facebook ad, I can say, recent college grad and a picture of me with a clunker or something. Don't let this be your new ride. Click here to.
There you go.
I like that.
Yeah.
Because we have plenty of garbage in the back, I can take like a picture with like a bunch of them piled together, me on top, like standing on top, whatever.
Recent college grad, looking for a new job.
Don't let one of these be your next set of wheels.
Something, right? Don't show up to your new job in an old piece of crap.
Yeah, click here to.
Click here to learn about our college grad program.
Like that.
Something like that. That would be an example. Yes.
Cool.
So you're going to grab their attention, right? You want to create some sort of interest. Now, because we can do Facebook ads that are either image-based, text-based, or video-based, or video text, or image text, you have options in how you can create your ad and how much content you want to put in there. But your ad essentially is going to have some sort of attention grabber, get their interest enough for them to pay attention to what your ad says. It has enough of a desire for them either through curiosity, right? They're curious, or because it does solve a problem for them that's important to them, or it gives them hope for gain, that they have enough desire that you're going to ask them to take some type of action. Now remember what I said was that every campaign that's successful has to balance 3 key factors within any successful campaign. Do you recall what the 3 key factors were that you have to be able to balance effectively? Yeah, you can look at your notes as well. What were the three factors within a campaign that have to be balanced in order for the campaign to be a successful one?
Impression? Is it from today?
Yes, from today, yeah.
Adding value, impression, give, get. That's
Okay, so those are part of the sales funnel. That's what those are part of the funnel itself.
Okay.
But any campaign, when you're trying to get somebody to take action, the 3 factors that will cause somebody to take action is you have the barrier of entry. Do you remember?
I didn't write that down.
I have it here. I do. The barrier of interest, reward, benefit, and credibility.
Right, so yes, exactly. So the barrier of entry is what you're asking a person to do, right? What it takes, the amount of effort it takes for them to take action. One of the criteria you have to balance in your campaign is what is the barrier of entry that you're presenting to a customer. Are you giving them a speed bump to go over, or are you giving them a wall to go over?
That was 3. What's it called again? 3 what?
The 3 factors, right, of an effective campaign. So in this case, barrier of entry, which is the effort you're asking someone to take in order for them to take action, right? How much effort will it take on their part? What commitment level does it take on their part? Now, I said, for example, if you think of calls to action, right? Asking someone to do something, there's 5 or 6 immediate calls to action that are available to you in a campaign that are pretty simple. What are some of the calls to action we can ask somebody to take? What are the barriers of entry we can ask? We can ask for them to, for example, call us. Right? Call me would be one. Text me would be another. That would be another call to action, barrier of entry. You could say email me. That would be another one. You could say click here. Right? Click on this. That would be another one. You could say visit a website. That would be another one. Visit a website. You could also say come to the dealership. Come in. That would be another one, right? All of these are different barriers of entry that you're putting in front of the customer, and you're saying, "Hey, to enter into my campaign, here's what I want you to do next. This is the call of action I'm asking for." Keep in mind that the barrier of entry has to be balanced directly against what? It has to be proportional to what?
To their needs.
What they want to get in return.
Yes, the offer itself. The hope for gain of your offer, right? The value proposition of your offer. So that as an example of that, if I said, if you'll give me your social security number, I'll give you $1. The barrier of entry is giving me your social. The reward is you get $1. How many people are willing to give up their social security number for $1?
None.
Probably not, right?
It needs to be worth it.
So in this case, what I'm asking for in the sense of fill out this form, right? That would be another call to action. Fill out this contact form, right? Fill out this online credit app, for example, right? Where in an online credit app, I'm asking for your name, your date of birth, your social, right? I'm asking for all of those things. As a barrier of entry, that's a pretty high barrier for some people. So for them, on the other side of that barrier has to be a significant enough reward or offer or value proposition for them to justify crossing that barrier. Okay? So when you look at these barriers of entry I just gave you guys, the call me, text me, email me, click here, visit a website, come to the dealership, fill out a form, which one is the least
Click in.
click in, right? That's the least barrier of entry. That's the easiest, least effort barrier, is to click on a link. So if you rank them, and if you're taking some notes right now, for those of you who might be listening or watching this recording, out of call me, text me, email me, click here, visit a website, come in, fill out a form, Google me, right? That would be another call to action, Google me. Out of those, if you rank them in order of what requires the least amount of effort, obviously it's proportional or directly related to the type of campaign you're doing. If I'm reading a flyer, or if I'm looking at a door hanger, or if I'm driving behind you on the highway and I see you have a window wrap, with a call to action on it, or I'm driving by and I'm seeing a billboard, right? The call to action will be dependent on that. I can't have click here on a billboard, but I can have click here on a Facebook ad or on a banner ad on a website, right? Or on a link in an email. So what's the least as far as barrier of entry? Click here would be the lowest, would it be number 1, right? What would be number 2 as far as the least amount of effort?
Fill out the form. No.
Google me.
Google me would be the next one, right? Google me. Because it doesn't require, on their part, them giving up any information. They don't give up anything to Google something. The next one would be what?
Visit a website.
Visit a website would be the next one. Visit a website. What would be next?
Email me.
Email, right? Email or text.
Yeah, email or text. Yeah.
Text probably is less effort than email. Would you agree?
Less effort, but
you're less effort, but you're giving up your mobile number.
Mobile number.
So for some people, texting
is a little bit more personal.
So emailing might be less personal, even though it takes a little bit more effort to access your email than it does your text. Yeah, but so then we might have texting. Fill out a form would come in after that, maybe as number 6. Call me would be number 7, and come in would be number 8. So come in to the dealership is the highest barrier of entry, right? It's take time out of your life, drive down here, come across traffic, come to our dealership, spend time at our company. That's a pretty high order to ask somebody. But if their hope for gain is high enough, if the offer is substantial enough, people will do it. Does that make sense? So you have your barrier of entry is one aspect. The second aspect that you have to balance it against, what was said, was the offer, right? Mm-hmm. The offer of value. When I ask someone to do something, I have to keep in mind that whatever I'm asking them to do will always be in their mind related to the value they think they'll get for doing it. And your value proposition has to be sufficiently better than what you're asking for. So as the example I think I may have used before, it said something like, if I said, hey, come on a Sunday and help me put out flyers in a neighborhood. I want to flyer a neighborhood on Sunday. Will you help me for 4 hours? And if anybody comes in and buys a car off of those flyers, I'll give you $10. So you're listening to that and thinking, no, I'm not going to spend 4 hours handing out flyers that if somebody comes in and buys a car, you'll give me $10. Why? Because what you're asking me to do, proportional to the reward I would get, it's not very good. But if I upped it to, if somebody comes in, I'll pay you $200 for each of the people that come in off the flyer, now the offer is starting to feel more enticing compared to what I'm asking you to do. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. But then if I extend it one more level, and if I offered you, let's say, $1,000, see, what would start to happen in your head at that point is you'd start to say, wait a second. If I go put out flyers and somebody comes in and buys a car, you're going to pay me $1,000 each time someone comes in. Now the problem becomes one of what? What's the problem with that offer?
You throwing out, it's too much money.
It seems incredible.
Too good to be true.
Yeah.
Sounds too good to be true now. So that's the third component or the third factor. Factor number one is the barrier of entry. What are you asking someone to do? Factor number two is the offer of value, which has to be sufficiently better than what you're asking for. And then factor number three is credibility. The credibility of the offer and source. The offer and the source of the offer. So, for example, I send you an email and I say, hey, my name is Habib, I live in Tehran, and if you'll give me your credit card information and your bank account, I will send you $50 million.
What was the third? I'm sorry.
The credibility of the offer and source.
I just want to back up one.
Yeah.
So offer of a value, like, so I get barrier of entry, click here is easy for, I'm doing like all, for example, my Facebook ad.
Yes.
That I'm thinking of doing. So click here, you break the barrier of entry. And I know the credibility, getting like, someone, a testimonial. So what would an offering of value be for this? The barrier of entry you get there, what would the offering of value be for me?
Well, so the offer of value is part of the front end of the ad, right? If you're asking me to click here, what am I getting
to
click here?
All right.
Keep in mind that in a Facebook ad, I'm scrolling through my timeline.
Yeah.
In my timeline, I'm looking at random things. I'm looking at my friends. I'm looking at videos. I'm looking at political junk. I'm looking at all kinds of things. I'm posting stuff. I'm commenting, right? I'm interacting with my timeline. I come across an ad, right? For me to stop what I'm doing, the ad has to have an attention grabber. And it has to grab my attention in such a way that I become interested in what the ad seems to be about. The desire is whatever they're saying in the ad, I want what they're offering, or I want to avoid what they're telling me to avoid. Fear or hope are driving that.
I think so. I'm not sure.
Is that you think you're getting paged? Go ahead and check. So when you're posting an ad, you have to remember that the AIDA is the front end of the ad, right? Whatever your ad is has to get my attention from everything else in my timeline. Once it has my attention, it has to be interesting enough for me to take a second to actually look at what is the ad. Then the desire is aroused, if you will, by the fact that something in the ad is sparking either hope for gain or a fear of loss. There's something about the ad that makes me think, ooh, I want that, or I want to avoid that. That's what's going to trigger my desire to then take action. Because in your ad, there's some sort of offer, whether it's an offer to learn how to not make a mistake or an offer to learn how to take advantage of something, like a program.
So that would be my example.
That is the offer sufficiently greater than the call to action barrier of entry. Because in this case, the barrier of entry you're using is one of the lowest ones, which is click here.
Yeah.
It's the least obligatory. It doesn't require me to give up any information. It doesn't make me have a conversation with anybody. I can click it. If I don't like it, I can click off of it. There's no fear. That barrier of entry doesn't require that much commitment from me. So the offer, in this case, of find out about this program so you're not driving a clunker to your new job, right? The offer for me to look into that is, okay, that's worth me clicking. In this case. So I click on the ad and now I'm on the back end of the ad, right?
Yep.
But what I'm saying is when you're building the ad and you're looking at the factors involved, if the barrier of entry is greater than the offer, people won't cross it.
Yeah. All right.
If the barrier of entry is lower than the offer, but it's coming in an incredible way where they don't trust it, they won't come in. If it looks sketchy, shady, as I gave the example in the class when I showed you guys the picture of the dude who says, who wants to talk about making millions, and he's using a busted up, flip phone, standing next to a bucket, right? You're not going to believe that guy. It's not believable, right? That's why if you make a promise that doesn't seem to fit like what people would accept as possible, they naturally assume that it's not. So your offer must at least appear credible. Otherwise, a person's going to bypass it thinking, that's a scam or that doesn't seem legit to me. I don't think they can really do it. It's too good to be true. So you lose them that way. So you don't want to lose them because your barrier of entry is too big for what you're offering or it's disproportional for who your audience is. For example, if I don't know you at all and I see a call to action of come see me, I'm not going to come see you. There's no way I'm going to drive all the way down to come see you when I don't know you, right?
Yep.
That's why salespeople who try to put up billboards, or I see salespeople with car wraps, and they have the back window of their car with a call to action on it, and it says, for a great deal on your next car, come see me at such and such dealership. And no one's going to do that. No one driving down the road is going to come see me for a great deal, and then they're going to drive to a car dealership and ask for you because they saw that promise on the back of a window. It's too generic of a promise, and it's too big of a call of action barrier of entry for what you're offering them. And it's incredible in the sense that they don't believe a car salesman. So you wouldn't approach it that way. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, so those are the 3 factors that you have to build into your campaign. Now we get to the back end. Whatever campaign you've created, now we're in the back end of the campaign, which is where the sales funnel kicks in. This is the part where you say, okay, now that they have clicked here, or now that they have submitted a form, or now that they have visited a website, what are they landing on? Where are they showing up? What's the next step that they're going to be entered into? And the first thing I want to encourage you to do is whatever the first step is of your back end. So if the customer's landed on the back end of your site, what you're going to want to do now is make sure that you have some process by which you're going to drive them through a sales funnel. And the very first step in that sales funnel is that whatever they see next on the back end of your site is directly related to what drove them to that back end. So if your campaign is for first-time car buyers, or for college grads, or for military personnel, whatever it is, when they click on that link, or when they email you, or when they visit that website, or when they text you from that ad, you need to make sure that the very first reaction that they get confirms that they're in the right place and that they're still getting the right information. Which means if they're going from a Facebook ad, they're going to land on a landing page that's going to specifically reference the ad that they started from to get to that landing page. As an example, if you're creating a video, you would create a video for college grads. When they land on the landing page from the Facebook ad, they're going to land somewhere and they're going to see a video of something like this. Hi there, were you just now scrolling through your Facebook, looking at different things, and you came across a link for finding out about a college grad program because you don't want to drive a busted ride anymore? You want something nicer, newer to launch into your new career? Well, I'm Michael Sansone over at Sansone Jr. 66 Auto Mall, and I want to share with you now how the college program that we have can help you get into a nice newer ride as you start your new career and now that you're a college grad. So you would have a video something like that that would get the customer to go, boom, this is exactly what I expected. This guy's talking about what I clicked on, so I'm comfortable. So phase 1 of the sales funnel on the back end is relate immediately to your customer's ad, whatever it was that they responded to. Now that's phase 1. Now that you've related to them, you're going to practice the idea of adding value. So step 1 is relate to the ad that got them there. Step 2 is add value. Add value is by promising what you're going to do for them. Tell them how you're going to fix their problem. Tell them how you're going to make their world a better place. Step 3 is to add credibility to what you're saying. So if you're going to make a claim about what you're doing, you want to reinforce that claim in some way. You can do that with testimonials, customer photos, video testimonials, reviews, something like that, as a mechanism of endorsement and credibility. Ideally, if you take the time to build this right, you might even collect 2 or 3 customer testimonial videos and build it into your actual video that they see.
So what would added value be? So relate to the ad.
The added value is by basically taking the time to explain to them how you're going to improve their situation. By watching this video, you're going to learn 3 things you can do to X. By watching this video, by reading my special report, you're going to find out how you can take advantage of X. By watching this video series I'm going to send you, or by reading my special report, or by listening to this audio, you're going to learn how you can avoid X. In the second step, you're going to add value by either telling them how they can avoid pain or gain more pleasure. Remember, everybody's always motivated by that hope for gain or that fear of loss. They're motivated by gaining more pleasure or avoiding more pain. And whatever it is that you're trying to do in your campaign, that's when you're going to say, hey, let me show you how I can make X go away so you don't have that problem anymore, or how I can make Y happen for you so you can start experiencing X. So that's the idea of adding value. Then you want to add credibility as well. So you want to have some way of building your credibility. Now, sometimes you can build credibility by simply stating your resume. for over 20 years I've been doing this. Or, I started doing this at this stage, I'm now at this stage. Or I'm the #1 ranking in my zone. Or I have the highest CSI. Or I have the most reviews. You can make self-declarative statements about your credibility. That's okay. But keep in mind that you will always get higher credibility from a third party than you will from yourself. Right? Other people talking about how great you are is always better than you talking about how great you are. Okay? So that would be the third step, is the credibility. Now that you have a third step, now you're going to do another call to action. The fourth step. Step 4 is going to be a call to action. I'm entering into your sales funnel. You've immediately related to me, so I know I'm in the right place. You've added value by telling me how you're going to solve a problem or you're going to make my world better. You've added credibility, so I trust you. And now you're going to have another call to action, which is what you want me to do next. Now keep in mind, the next call to action can be a higher barrier of entry. Right? So now that you've already got me into your sales funnel by me clicking on the link if this is a Facebook ad, the next thing you can ask me to do can be bigger. You can ask me to text. You can ask me to email. You can ask me to fill out a simple form. You can ask me to Google you. You can ask me to do visit a website. You can ask for me to call you. The barrier of entry can be larger now as you move them up the mountain to buy a car from you. This is now moving into the next stage of the buying cycle.
That would be good for email/text, so you could, because I send out a video to most of my new leads that come in.
Right.
So they would receive a video from me
Absolutely.
after me receiving their lead.
Exactly. So that would be part of your sales funnel. So if they send you, their name is Joe Jones, and they text you their number,
I send
so
them
that they can.
yeah.
So then you would get a personal video from you saying, "Hey Joe, I'm Michael, the gentleman that you went to my site because you were interested in my college grad program. I just want to let you know I'd be happy to visit with you about the details. I'm going to be texting you some more information specifically about the program." Now Joe can get yet another personal contact that relates to him, is again, add more value, establish more credibility, another call to action. And the sequence continues. And that's the sales funnel. So the next call to action will be yet another barrier of entry. So if the last call to action was to send you their information by email or text, the next call to action would be a phone call. You're going to move up the food chain here. So you can go from click here or Google me to then visit a website or text me to then, call me or fill out a form or come in. Your third call to action in the sales funnel each one is a higher level barrier of entry. Why? Because at each level, you're going to give them what you're asking for, the barrier of entry, call me, against the value that they're getting by being engaged in the conversation with you now, against your now increased credibility. So they're more convinced you can help, they believe in what you're doing, and therefore they're willing to take the next bigger step. And as you progress down this process, you can take stranger leads and turn them into opportunities for sale. So that's the structure of the ad, right? So that's how you build a campaign. And you can do this with any of these formats. You could do the same exact process with a door hanger, with a flyer, with a billboard, with a direct mail piece, with an email campaign, doesn't matter. Facebook ad, doesn't matter what it is. You follow the same process. But depending on the medium that you're choosing, it changes slightly what kinds of things you're going to do. So now let's talk about this. Now I want to do a custom Facebook ad and design the actual ad itself and walk through the specifics, and let's write the script. Let's actually build the ad, okay? So we'll do that next. And if you're watching this video or listening to this, if you enjoyed this, I'm Jonathan Dawson. Hope you enjoyed this a lot. I hope it was helpful for you. You can learn more about me by Googling Sellchology. See, that's a low barrier of entry, right? Google Sellchology. If you really like what I'm doing and you are a fan of mine and you already believe in me and I've established some credibility, I'll give you another barrier of entry. Feel free to shoot me an email at info@Sellchology. That's SELLCHOLOGY.com. You can do that. And if you're really brave and you're ready to take this to the next level, the next barrier of entry would be to actually call me. You can call me directly at 612-387-7776 and be happy to discuss how I can help you or your dealership implement these strategies going forward. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Hope you enjoyed this. Bye.